Hello, fragrance review number one, Creed Bois du Portugal. So, this is a fragrance by Creed that does not get a lot of attention on the internet. I think there's only three or four reviews on YouTube. But most people who've reviewed it speak very highly of it, and I happen to think it's really one of the best Creed fragrances, and I'm surprised that it doesn't get more recognition than it does. So the designation of this fragrance is a woody oriental, and basically it's a very deep, soft, floral, uh, sophisticated kind of fragrance. But more about the notes in a moment. The price for this 75 milliliter bottle, it was here in Britain, was £160. I don't think you can get it in a 30 ml, and I'm not even sure that this one comes in the larger 120 ml size. So it's fairly expensive as fragrances go, but about what you're used to paying normally for these Creed fragrances. I happen to really like the 75 ml bottles because I really like the shape there with the curved shoulders. You don't get that with the 120 ml bottles, which have more of a square shape. And I just think it's a good amount when you've got a little bit of a collection. 75 mls will last you quite a long time, probably maybe a year, 2, 3 years, depending how much you use it. And after about 3 years, I start to feel maybe some of the top notes and stuff are going from fragrances. So for me, having a large amount is kind of redundant. So 75 mils, good amount to have of a fragrance like this. So let's get on to how it looks. Really nice bottle. The shape of it is nice. The lid's fine. This one seems to work well. A lot of people say Creed lids are bad, but mine clicks in place and you can hold it by the lid, but I wouldn't recommend it. We have a very nice soft material, but like I think it's suede, dark green. You can see the writing's faded off there. I don't think I've touched it enough that I've done that, so I'm not sure why that is. But it really is a nice looking label, but it's a little odd that the writing kind of fades off. I guess it just adds to the overall charm and the feel that it's not a mass-produced plasticky kind of indestructible thing. The label's even a tiny bit wonky the way they put it on there. That sort of suggests maybe they put it on by hand and gives it that handmade feel. So I think the packaging pretty attractive, looks pretty good on your dresser or wherever you happen to keep it. So the notes on this one, not too many. The top note is bergamot, the mid note is lavender, then we've got cedarwood, Mysore sandalwood, vetiver and ambergris. So this one, in terms of the smell, it comes out very strong at first with a little blast of bergamot, and then you just get a very nice powdery, soft kind of dry down that just evolves really nicely to a very pleasing, warm, soft and yet deep kind of scent. The dry down is really nice. It's a very long lasting fragrance. I don't think the projection is huge, but I think it's moderate at least. I think it's okay. And the longevity, I have no complaints. It lasts a really long time, and it's one of those where if you spray it a little bit on your clothes, or even just on your neck, you're going to find that it rubs off onto your shirt collar and it's still going to be there the next morning, that smell on the clothes. Really nice to spray it on like a wool or cashmere jumper or something like that. It gives a really cozy kind of nice smell that will be there for a long time, and really suits the kind of feel of a really cozy jumper with this fragrance on it. Very nice. Words we would use to describe this fragrance: I would say classy, sophisticated, and a little bit old-fashioned, but entirely in a good way. So this kind of fragrance is not probably going to appeal to very young people who are looking to go out clubbing, that kind of thing. It wouldn't work for that very well. But for somebody in their 30s and upwards, it's a really appropriate fragrance. You can wear this anywhere that you like. However, it's pretty much suited to more formal occasions. It would be fantastic if you're going to a wedding or a dinner or some kind of formal event. It would work well on most kind of night out situations. I have no problem just wearing it to go to a pub or bar for a drink. It would be fine on a date, although it could alienate some people, as it does have a slightly old school kind of vibe. There might be more mass appealing sense that you might want to go for if you want to wear a Creed fragrance. Probably something like Aventus would be maybe a better choice for a date, but I think I would have no problem wearing this as I really like it, and I think it fits my personality and the way I dress quite well to have this slightly old-fashioned kind of vibe going on. So it's really good. In fact, it's one of those kind of fragrances that makes you feel happy about getting older. I'm 39, coming up to 40, and one of the advantages of that, there aren't many, but one of the advantages of it is that I feel comfortable wearing older people's kind of scents like this, which are really rich and sophisticated smelling, and I think that's one of the good things we can say about this fragrance. Famous people who've worn this one, well, apparently it was Frank Sinatra's signature scent. Now, he died in 1998, this was released in 1987, so it must have just been during the last years of his life. But that gives you an idea of the kind of vibe you've got here. You know, I don't know how Frank Sinatra was known for smelling, but I would imagine he would be a pretty good smelling person. He certainly dressed really well, so this would really go well with someone like him. Other people apparently who've worn it: Paul Newman, Kevin Costner, Bette Midler and Jennifer Love Hewitt apparently. So some women like this, and I would have no problem smelling this on a lady. I think it's a pretty masculine fragrance, but I think a woman could pull it off. It's leaning a little bit more towards the man side of things, but you know, a smell is just a smell. Anyone can wear it. So to round things up, overall I really like this fragrance. It's one of my favourite Creed fragrances. It's right up there with Aventus and Green Irish Tweed for me, which are the only other two that I own, and I have smelled some of their other fragrances. So those three, this and the other two that I mentioned, are my favourite ones. They're the ones I actually bought, and this, in some ways, I like this the best because I feel it's not the obvious one everyone's heard of and everyone's going to be wearing. I wear this, and I really feel like it's the one that I picked out that I thought, wow, that smells amazing. Whereas with Green Irish Tweed and Aventus, everyone had told me on the internet they smelled amazing, and I agree. But this one, I kind of sniffed it out myself as a personal favourite. So my overall rating for this one, I'd have to go 9 out of 10. It's absolutely beautiful, delightful smelling, and the only thing that would maybe stop it being a 10 out of 10 is it's not the most versatile scent, because there are times when you might feel it was a little bit stuffy and old-fashioned, or maybe that there would be a better, safer, or more likely to be pleasing choice. But for me, a 9 out of 10, and in terms of how much I like the smell, it would be a 10 out of 10. The value for money maybe isn't as good as some fragrances out there, but to me, if you're really interested in fragrances and it's important to you, I don't think £160 is that much when you compare to if you're into designer clothes, you want to buy a fancy designer suit or jacket or pair of shoes, or if you like expensive watches, they can cost way more than this. You know, the best watches cost thousands of pounds. Now, the best fragrances in the world, some of them which are made by Creed, £160 for something that's going to last you a couple of years. I don't think it's too bad. It's okay. I think it's worth the money. So that's the end of the review. Please like and subscribe. And just my last point is I want to dedicate the video to Lex Ellis. He's my favourite YouTube fragrance reviewer. He's the funniest one out there, and his videos are also incredibly informative. So thanks for inspiring me to do this video, Lex, and I hope that there'll be many more to come. Thank you.